is going on, guys? It is finally time to get written in blood. Ooh. You know, we still don't have this character, but I have to do this video so I can actually farm the stupid thing, so I can do more summons, so I can eventually get Lilius. But it is time to read on and see what she is about. What does she bring into the table? Let's read the little excerpt here. Lilius is a descendant of the royal family of Perlutia. Oh, so that's what her artifact is. That's the word, Pelutia, I think. Sounds stupid that way. A kingdom that once ruled over Sidonia. While waiting for an opportunity to become the leader of Perlin, which is a part of Pelutia, she takes advantage of an approaching threat to take a step closer to that dream. It's time for another character story, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're already talking about Akin's idiot city lord, which is Furious. So they're already talking about Furious right off the bat. Talking behind his back. And now I can actually see a close up of actual Lilius. I didn't know that she had like a jacket and she actually doesn't have her arms in it. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so what they're talking about, current city lord of Akin, maybe this is beforehand, because he seems that the current city lords, they're asking for additional support from Lilius and I guess the greedy noble, and he looks like he wants to be in on it, because if you help nation, this is like political, it's super political stuff, but like if you help another nation, usually that means that they're going to be indebted to you, they're going to owe you probably soldiers money and soldiers holding money, all that good stuff. So he's looking at this is the perfect time to get into this. See, look, he even wants to station troops in Akin itself, which was, I think, a little bit crazy. Again, a lot of political stuff here, which is interesting. You know, this is like, not like these games are children's games or anything of the sort, but it is interesting to see them go into the aspect of like, oh, more political. It's not just the big bad guy is attacking, we got to stop it. Like, no, they can go down deep into some politics of the actual cities. And Lilius, she knows what's up. She knows what's up. But Lilius also knows for a fact that if they were to try to take land and try to station troops and start some type of war with Akin, that it would actually be unavoidable. Like if they were to try to do it, a war we are absolutely not prepared for, and against a formidable foe at that. So she really does not want to go to war with them. She would like to help them, it sounds like, but she doesn't necessarily want to stick her neck out that far. And as greedy as this guy's doing, he's hoping that, you know, they go over there, help them out, and then they're just in super debt, take some land, and then, you know, maybe take them over. I don't know how far this plan goes. And boom. Might as well be throwing our soldiers' lives away. As such, I cannot readily agree with this plan of yours. City Lord, so it's not her. So she's not the City Lord. I think these people become the City Lord, but they're currently not. Arrogant noble. There's a greedy noble and there's an arrogant one. So that's a little backstory. Akin and Perlin were both once part of the kingdom of Pelutia. Before this was known as Perlin, it was Forum, capital of the great kingdom, subjugation of Akin. Oh, are you implying the fall of Pelutia was my family's fault? Uh-oh. Chuckling, I don't recall saying such a thing. What do you mean? Asshole. Stop it, I've heard enough opinions. You each have very valid reasons behind your own, but reclaiming the past glory of Pelutia, I don't believe we have any mission more important than that. Uh-oh. So he's about to make a decision. Now I am certain of a choice I must make. 2 days from now, a special forces unit will be deployed to Akin to ascertain the size and strength of the enemy's forces. And should it become necessary, they will be ordered to repel them. This reckless provocation of yours will only aggravate the situation by igniting their hostility. Perlin is the mightiest of all Sidonia. What do we have to be afraid of? Okay, so, and I usually skip a lot, but this seems very important. Like right out the gate, this seems very important. Are you so scared of Furious? Oh, have any of you sitting here ever fought against him? That man is no pushover. Even though a lot of us think so. Unless he's fighting a dragon. If he's fighting Wyvern, then, you know, he might be a god, you know, with people. I still haven't played the story, so I have no idea. You won't be able to do anything with a force of that size. You may as well be signing those soldiers' death certificates yourself. Cautious noble. Finally, there's another noble. So Lilius walks out. She's like, they pretty much was like, yeah, we're going to do it anyway. Regardless of how risky it is, the chance is too good to pass up. Yep, exactly. The city lord already knew what he was going to do before they even came to the meeting. It was more of a formality, which happens a lot. Hope you guys know. I guess she was just telling Violet that, I actually don't know who Violet is to Lilius. I need to look that up. Violet was just like, hey, is the meeting over? He's like, yeah, and then he walks away. He just goes back. I know he's a soldier. You are the chosen bloodline, much nobler than theirs. So that's her last name, Pulitudia. So I guess that's what the name of her, and it's a fan. Gotcha. So here they are now out on a patrol. Lilius is just asking Violet what does he think about the situation. Lilius is planning something. She's talking to her lieutenant here to see, you know, he's buying stuff. He's preparing materials for something. We don't know what that is currently. And the girl, where is she? She was along the border trying to find a way back to Aachen. More significantly, she is being accompanied by a recent recruit of the Perlin Raiders. All right, so now we have this person, Pavel, and then Cerise, you can come out now. Looks like they're sneaking around the mountain. There goes Cerise. So Pavel is the Perlin Raider, and then Cerise is the person that they're walking around with. It sucks that they're both not animated, because when you saw initially when they were released that they seemed like they were both going to be playable characters. I mean, they could still be, but my rule is the same rule, is that if they're not animated, then they're not going to be playable in the game, at least not anytime soon. So kind of sucks. Because when you first saw them, we all thought we were getting like 3 new characters, but it was only one of them, which was Lilius, I think, and then the other 2 were these characters. And see, boom, he just reveals he's a Perlin Raider. My father would never do a thing, so is she Furious's daughter? So this is where Furious's daughter, so it is Furious's daughter. Cool. So Lilius finds the Perlin Raider, and she finds the daughter as well, so she's been tracking them. Member of the old royal family, Peludia. Uh-oh. Looks like Furious has been busy. Furious looks like he took out a whole like platoon or a whole bunch of soldiers, and now he's talking to this soldier. It looks like he's gonna leave him alive to send him a message. Yep, fine, I'll let you return to Perlin with a message from me. Tell them Furious of Aachen will extract fair compensation from our deal, whatever it takes. So this guy obviously is the same one. He comes back and tells him that message. Our greed has ignited a bonfire. So they pretty much know now. So now Furious knows what they tried to do. He's aware of it. It looks like he kills everyone, or either he kills them or he leaves everyone in a really bad state, sends them back and like, here, send a message to them. I know what you're trying to do. So let's see how they react to that. And Lilius, even her facial expression, like, damn, now we got to prepare for war, you dumbasses. This is very important to note. Lilius is cautious of the war. It's not that she thinks that the army is too weak, is that she thinks that their army is strong enough that there will be too many casualties, which is really beautiful. It speaks to her character. It shows that she's not trying to go into a war just because she knows she can win it. She doesn't want to take too many casualties. Meanwhile, the other nobles are like, even, you know, we'll lose some people, but we'll gain a lot from it. This is the most political chapter I've ever came across. I do apologize if this video is longer than others, but I do find a lot of this interesting and relevant. And even the city lord agrees that they need to be more prepared to like reduce casualties. And one of the nobles, this is the cautious noble, now he wants to hold people for hostage. Now they started a war against Lilius's actual, like, she didn't want to do it. Now they're stuck in it, and now they want her to lead the troops. And it seems that Lilius actually turns down the position and asks the city lord to lead the war. It's very likely she's doing this to keep him doing that while she stays in the shadows. If she's like the main commander, she probably can't go around being sneaky. If you guys are familiar with Naruto, especially Naruto like Shippuden, Jiraiya did the same thing. He toned down being the Hokage so he can pretty much go around and sneak and get information about the Akatsuki. Now Lilius is pretty much saying the old city lord is pretty good to lead the current war, but he's not going to actually create change. He's not going to be able to rebuild and go to new heights. But as you can see here, we need a new leader, one who is strong and unshakable, one who can forge a new way forward. So she's probably talking about herself here. Only one kind of person is capable of that. A chosen one with a royal bloodline, which is herself. She sees that he can currently do that, but what needs to happen is there still needs to be change and reform. He can hold down the war. People like him. He's pretty much like a good politician, but he's not going to be able to incite change. Now Lilith and Violet are here. They're about to start this war. I guess it's like the old school wars when everyone's out in a field and they're going to rush at each other like jerks. Violet notices that there's a lot of troops here, that all the royal families, the noble families have sent troops. And the reason why is because they're all greedy. They want their name written in history. They want the spoils from the war. Like, oh, the Johnson family was here. The Bryant family was here. The anime family was here. All these people were here. And of course, they're going to get rewarded and acknowledged for it. Violet then questions Lilius, why are you in the back? You're the royal bloodline. Why are you in the back? And she's like, well, if you're going on a hunt, you need bait. And Violet's like, what the heck are you talking about? And then now Lilith asks Violet, you know, what do you think is going to happen? Violet responds with, Akin army is strong, but our numbers are simply far too great for them. So they have about double their soldiers out in the field. Normally yes, but numbers are not important in this battle. You have a different idea of how this will end. Our army is led by the city lord. No man in all Perlin commands more respect and trust. He is clearly a capable politician and leader, but I'm not sure he possesses the necessary traits to adequately lead a force as large as this. Uh-oh. It's like she set him up. This is so deep. Trumpeting. I've never seen that as a thing. Trumpeting. You asked me earlier why I chose to take up rear support. The answer will become clear soon enough. This war will take place on an open terrain, but it won't take long for the victor to be decided. Uh-oh. This is the time you wish you could see this. And then that's when the real war starts. Begins. Uh-oh. Looks like Furious probably cut through all the troops and went straight to the city lord. What kind of demon are you? So why do you think you've been crushed so easily despite your overwhelming advantage in numbers and technology? Just come out and say it already. Yeah, seriously. It is the incompetence of your nobles, blinded by their own vanity and sense of superiority over Akin. We didn't kill your soldiers here, you did. That's a shame. If I'd known Perlin were so weak, I'd have made my decision earlier. Enough talk. We haven't lost yet. You really thought I'd fall for such a weak attack? I won't kill you just yet. I still have too many things I want to ask you. Did you receive the message I sent you? About the food lost in Dead Man's Pass? Are you really going to invade Perlin over such an absurd demand? Absurd. Noble Akin soldiers died for that food. Food we never even received. Our people went hungry, unrest consumed the city. I spent a long time wondering why, how two cities with such amicable trade dealings could end up like this. But seeing you, I think I realized you look to be the exact kind of man who would give such shameful orders. General, we have a problem. Another unit suddenly appeared from nowhere. Our formation is collapsing. This is probably Lilius. Enemy has grown comfortable in their victory. This is our chance to strike. Yeah, she knew what she was doing. Save the nobles they have in prison. Save the city lord. Save your fellow soldiers. It is time to show them why the world should fear the name Proludia. Church! Yeah, motherfucker, we in there. Alright, we finally have finished off the field of broken promises. And another cool thing that I wanted to say while I'm in the midst of this is that they've been doing a really good job at making the little stack up the exchange currency thing make sense. So we're just sneaked up behind them with Lilius's army, and it almost gives the feeling that you are breaking down the Akin army, and now we get to proceed with the story. I don't know, they've been doing a good job with that. Alright, so now Lilius is going over to the injured nobles, and apparently they have something they want to tell her. First of all, we would like to express our most heartfelt thanks. If it weren't for you, our army would have become overcome with despair and wiped out. We too would be dead. Yes, you're welcome. I was only doing what was necessary. While my wounds were being treated, I got to thinking. From the start, you were stressing the dangers of this war. It's beginning to feel like this conversation might take longer than a moment. Yeah, she's savage, but she knows she's in a position to talk that shit. It's okay, I'll get straight to the point. None of us here can hope to stand against Furious. Without even our city lord, there is only one person who can. It is you, Lilius Polatuya. Oh, I put a little Spanish mix on that. Please take up command our forces. That sounds weird. Please take up the command of our forces? I don't know. Secondly, our army is halved in numbers. Morale is at rock bottom, and the chain of command has collapsed entirely in the absence of any officers. Commander, huh? It sounds to me like you're trying to find someone on which to pass the buck. Do you need a sacrificial lamb so badly? Yep, because they were all gung-ho. They all wanted to be in the front line, and now that shit's going south, they're like, wait a minute. Maybe we could put your name on it too. It's not like that. We regret our foolishness, and we want to desperately to fix our mistake. If we had taken heed of your warning, so many soldiers need not to have lost their lives. Remember this, guys, because we're obviously going to get some type of thing in the later on and see if they actually give her credit. I'm assuming they do, though, because it's the cautious noble. He's like the half deck, and they captured the city lord. So that scene that we saw earlier, Furious is with the city lord. He captures him. And then when he sees that Lilius is coming up through the back, then you could pretty much see like, okay, he just dips out with the city lord at that point. She looks like she's gonna accept it as long as she has full military authority. Is it time to reveal the ace up my sleeve? It's probably his daughter. So they're trying to sneak into Furious's camp the night before a big battle. And apparently Violet is doing this because Lilius plans to give him a secret party with all the beauties of Perlin. Let's see if she keeps up that promise. And looks like Furious is finds her before he gets to sneak into the camp. So Lilius and Violet went to sneak into the camp. Violet, for some reason, since he wasn't, I don't know if he didn't know what they were trying to do, but he told all his other Perlin raiders to come along. But unfortunately, they were captured before they can come there. So now Furious looks at this as like an assassination attempt. Now that she's there and she's talking to him like, oh, let's talk about peace. And it's like, oh, word, you want to talk about peace when you sending all these people to my camp? And now things are going south. So it looks like Lilius showed Furious this jewel. As Violet is saying, it was a piece of blue jewelry. It's very likely belonging to his daughter. Come on. So right now, during this last confrontation, Lilius is pumping her army up. Furious is making battle preparations. Furious battle preparations look a little sketchy to his lieutenant. They're like, why are we doing this? This seems like we're gonna be flanked. And you know, he's like, you know, just don't worry about it. So it seems that Cerise is starting to see the battle. She's seeing the flags that are being raised, so she can see that they're about to fight. Let's see what she does about it. So the deal that Lilius makes with Cerise is that Cerise has to take this path, and then Lilius is asking for a piece of the jewelry, which is obviously she showed to Furious because Furious would know what his daughter is wearing for some reason. So now Lilius finds the city lord and says that it's not time for him to die yet, which is kind of creepy. Now she's talking about that, you know, so he has to pay a price. We have to make sure the public finds out who you really are first. Are you threatening me? There's no need to explain it to you here. Everything will be back where it belongs once you wake back up. Like she is doing a lot of stuff right now. Oh, no, this guy's dead. So Furious meets up with Lilius, and now she says, weren't you supposed to be retreating? This goes against the terms of our agreement. Lose the battle and retreat. Those terms, I believe I followed them to the letter. Look around us. My camp is in flames. My army is rooted. Yours, on the other hand, seem to have already forgotten their previous defeat and become drunk on victory. So please point out where I have done wrong by this humiliating agreement of yours that I was forced into the sake of my daughter's safety. Million, have you forgotten the food I promised you in the return? The only reason you started this ridiculous war to begin with. Aachen gets food because they were getting denied that, and the Perlin avoids the horrors of war. Oh baby, now they're gonna be fighting it off. Oh, so their fight is a stalemate. Whack. And there goes what we were assuming earlier, is that the Council of Nobles and their beloved and trusted city lord were stealing Perlin's food and wealth behind their backs. So that was what she was saying, as far as like, we need to reveal who the city lord is, like who you truly are. So when they found out that they were stealing food and the city lord was pretending as though, wait, we don't do that. What are you talking about? And it was true. They weren't doing it. And they were stealing food from Aachen, and that's why she had to do that. So she's not as much as a jerk as I initially thought she was. She's not out for power. She was actually trying to right some wrongs. And now they're meeting up a few days later, just so conveniently. So she becomes a city lord after this little fight, this war. Well, this is an interesting little question. Why did they give us the food? You know as well as I do, even with the defeat you suffered, Perlin would have won a protracted war. Yes, we know that. They had more forces, they can win a long drawn out war. When instead you rushed to make a deal and end the war quickly. Why? You're right, we would have won eventually, but all I wanted was to end the war. It only started because of the incompetence of the former city lord and my phone going off and his noble lackeys. My only desire is to lead Perlin towards peace, not fight meaningless wars. To that end, I'm more than happy to work with other cities when necessary. I look forward to a fruitful relationship, Furious. Work together. Ha! But don't expect me to shake your hand. I still cannot trust you. I don't know what you are plotting, but I'll continue to watch you closely. One day a massive hypocrisy will crack. And that is the end. Very interesting. I hope you guys really enjoyed. Not really even me. Oh, can you go away? Flawless glory, natural born leader. Really, I really think that they did an amazing job really painting her at some times when you didn't know what she was necessarily up to. letting you not really know what she was actually planning, that she was withholding information from the actual person, like from you as the player. You didn't know what she was really planning. Like, you had a good idea, but you didn't really know why. Like, we didn't know that they were stealing food, or unless maybe I didn't catch on. I thought for a fact that maybe they were robbers or something, or it was just the nobles, but I didn't think that the city lord himself was involved with the stealing of the food to a nation. You know, like, that's a whole other city, and the way that they make cities seem like either countries, or maybe it is like a state, like how big a state is in the United States. Like that's pretty big, you know, if that's 2 states or something of that nature. So I think that this was one of the best side stories. And if you guys, I know you can't look back on it, but maybe we can talk to or make enough noise to Smilegate so you can actually revisit this. This is probably the best side story, and I think that's why, as far as editing, I know I did 20 or so minutes on that one. This one's 30 minutes, and that's probably just because of, you know, all the stalling that I did. So I'm assuming this is going to come out to about 20 something minutes. And I really appreciate of you guys that you guys watch this or read it to the end or listen to it to the end. Really appreciate that. But this was one of the best ones. It was good. And I don't like politics, but they did a really good job putting politics into the story, because like I said before, the only politics that there were before was only with like Aether. And, you know, Aether, and they assassinated the queen, and, you know, and they kind of just threw away with that. It was like, yeah, anyway, we got to take the archdemon out. So this was cool. I think this was very interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed. Next up will be Lilias' character guide, or actual guide on how to use her and stuff like that. There's a lot of information out there, so shouldn't be too crazy. So without further ado, last thing I got to tell you is that every day at the Kashino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.